We are here in central Washington, and it's the 3rd of July, and we're about to bust into the hive. We're gonna test them for mites, varroa mites, and we're gonna try to locate the queen and just check on their progress. This is our first time having them, and so they've just been kind of building comb and, you know, getting acclimated to the area, and I think they were doing pretty good. So we'll see if they have mites, and then at that point we'll address the mite situation when we get there. Just try and step back a little bit. Just try and stay calm. They've already knocked down 2 32-ounce jars of that stuff in the last 2 weeks probably.
Oh, crushed bees.
Yep, got some crushed bees on there. See, this is what you need the crowbar for, hive tool.
And it's open. Ooh. Alright guys, we're opening up these frames.
Doesn't look like there's much over here, so I'm gonna just give us some room and take one frame out right off the bat. Yep, just a couple of bees on this side.
How about the back?
Yeah, there's basically nothing, bud. This second group of frames has been in here for, I don't know, maybe 20 days now. And they've gone through quite a bit of 1-to-1 sugar water.
See a lot of action right there.
Yeah, and they've been busy. All right, here's our first frame with bees and just the slightest bit of comb. Looks like there might be some nectar in here. That's kind of cool. You gotta be real careful putting these things back in. You don't want to roll the bees up on them and kill any bees. It's the last thing I want to do. All right, so this next one's got some drawn out comb, if you can see it. But I'm gonna probably skip that one because it's just drawn out comb. There's nothing in it.
But there's a lot of action.
There is a lot of action. We're starting to get to the action part. These things are they're just so cool right now. They're not pouring out the top or anything. They're just working.
Busy bees.
Busy bees. All right, this one might have some stuff going on with it. Wow, this frame feels a little heavy.
Really?
Here we are. We got, looks like nectar. You know, the like clear stuff, or maybe those are.
Looks like there's some bee eggs.
Yeah, it actually, I think it is eggs, uncapped.
Yeah, there's clear stuff if you guys can see.
Yeah, if we could get a little closer or have a backlight, maybe we could see a little larva in there, but this yellow stuff, it can be bee bread, I think. Bee bread or what's that stuff called? Pollen.
That one's sticking its head in that.
Yeah. Yeah, this could be nectar though, but I just don't know the difference in how they look. I mean, I think it's brood, but I'm just not experienced enough to know. How will we ever find the queen? That's the question.
Of these 10,000 bees.
Yeah, you can see they've kind of built a little bit of a burr right there at the bottom, and looks like they were building a cross. I don't think that's ideal, but all right, these next couple, they look like they've got a lot of stuff on them here.
And guys, this is a fact. When bees are born, they're not born as babies. They're just born grown up.
Yep, after they come out, they're ready for assignment.
I think my dad told me that when they're first born, they're like nurse bees, I think.
That's what I've read. There's going to be a lot of action on this one.
Oh my. Oh, that's a lot of bees.
Look for the queen if you can. But yeah, focus on the camera as well. Oh man, we're dripping. It's probably nectar, that white clear stuff that we had just looked at. But oh wow. Where is the queen?
There's a bunch of filled in stuff just right there.
Yeah, that could be honey. But it could be brood. I'm not, everybody that has videos online, their brood it's in like really dark comb. So it's hard to take what you've seen there and then see this white comb and then you just can't really tell. I guess that's why people have, oh, is that the queen?
Yeah. Maybe. I just saw a bee go into a cave of bees.
Yeah, this might be brood, if I had to guess.
That one's
Surrounded by
almost
nectar.
just fully in.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason they would go in there is
To work.
to
in
feed
there.
a little baby.
Maybe even just work in there.
But it's pretty crazy. The bees have been remarkably calm. They don't care that we're in here. They're just going about their business.
They've gotten used to us. Oh, man. There's like a whole wall right there. Oh, I think I see some honey.
Wow.
There might be some honey just
Yeah,
right
that's nectar, I think. Holy mackerel.
And guys, just to let you know, the first few will have like the most bees on it. The more it gets down here, the less bees it'll have on it.
Ideally, it would be in the middle. But this hive has been almost all over on the side.
Guys, as you saw, this one barely had any, but over here has just a bunch.
Uh-oh.
What?
This one looks dead. I hope I didn't do that.
That one needs a medic.
All right, I'm gonna take this level off.
Don't drop it. There's so many bees.
So that is capped brood. It's gotta be. And this over here looks like capped nectar, I think. And so this will turn into honey eventually, but this is where they're making babies. This is where we should see the queen, in one of these frames that's like this. This could be uncapped brood. Capped brood is closer to launch, I think, than the uncapped.
I think I see some honey. It's all drippy.
Yeah. Anybody see a queen?
Ooh, look at that. It might be the queen.
She's gonna be a little longer, I think. I'm gonna go one more in just to have a look.
Probably on that really busy one.
We're gonna take this for the bucket and try to get half a can of bees. Part of it. So we've got approximately a half a container of bees in here, nurse bees. So we found brood, and so the bees that are around in that area are considered nurse bees. And the reason we want nurse bees is because the varroa mite targets your baby bees. When you have brood, that's where they go apparently. Okay, so it's the idea is that if you get the nurse bees that are attending to the capped brood, that they're going to be more likely to have varroa mites on them. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the sugar shake method, I think it's called. So we got just a little bit of powdered sugar here, and if we get these bees down to the bottom, you'll see there's roughly half a container. See? It's about half a container. There's still some up top there, but I like, from what I've seen online, this is the method that I wanted to go with because I cannot stand when I kill one of my bees. And there's another method that, you know, requires you to put them in alcohol, and that kills them. And I don't want to do that. You know, if we get a bad enough varroa mite problem, I could understand doing it that way, but This is my first varroa mite test, so I don't know if we have a problem or not. We'll let the powdered sugar get in there. Okay. You can see some of it's got in there, but it's not a lot.
They stopped buzzing.
The sugar method works because powdered sugar irritates varroa mites for some reason, and it causes them to let go of the bee. And so then at that point, you can shake some of the sugar out, and hopefully you will be able to count some of the varroa mites that you are able to shake free from the bees. And then this is supposed to be roughly 300 bees. So then you can do some quick calculations. Like, so we had, let's say we have 5 mites. So we're gonna have 5 mites per 300 bees. And the count isn't perfect, but it gives you an idea of the numbers you're working with. Okay, so with this method, you want to get that powdered sugar in there, and then you just want to roll the bees around in it. And I'm really holding on to this lid because I don't want to let 300 bees go in the house. But you shake them in there like this. Some people roll it if they've got a more secure lid, but we do not have a more secure lid. All right, so I think we've shaken them up pretty good. So we're gonna try and spill some of this. All right, looks like we've probably shaken out all we can shake out. And there's still some in there, but it's not shaken out. We're gonna start pouring some of this water on here to dissolve some of the sugar, and then hopefully the mites will show up a little better.
I think I see one mite.
You see, that's black though.
What color are mites?
The mites, they are red.
Oh.
And so I don't see any mites. It doesn't mean we didn't get them, but they are not in this test. So we may have to test for varroa again with a better screen because the powdered sugar didn't transfer very well between this screen board. So the great thing about this test is now I can go outside and release the bees, and they'll be ticked off for a while, but once they're out, they'll be alive. So you haven't killed any bees. All right, well, this has been Sweet Peas Honeybees coming at you on July 3rd. We want to wish everybody a happy July 4th tomorrow, and happy birthday, America.